Hey there, it's Carol Billing, your instructor for Education 201. We have the traditional version, which means we'll be meeting every Tuesday and Thursday. So here is our course syllabus, and at the top here you'll see I have far too many ways to be contacted. Mostly this is because I teach all online except your class. You guys are the only non-fully online class. So I have to be very available for my online students. You guys have it easy though, because you get me Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I'm sure that will be more than enough time with me. So I doubt you'll need these, but the Facebook one is good to add if you use Facebook, because I put announcements related to education on there periodically. So even if you're not in my class, you'll still hear about opportunities to teach with Micron or other things that are going on. Google Hangout is handy if we need to talk outside of class. Kik is a texting app for phones if you're not familiar with it. I think it's kind of new. But anyway, I put it on there. If you want to text me through Kik, you can. And then my office hours are actually right after our class on Tuesday and Thursdays. So usually you can just follow me back to my office and we'll talk about whatever you need to talk about. So you don't typically need to call in during office hours, but of course you always could if you needed to. I'll be sitting there. And I have a Wednesday night virtual hangout and collaborate session, but again, because you see me 3 hours a week, I'm sure you will have plenty of time with Carol Billing. Okay, so here we are. We're going to be room 102 on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1 to 2:15, and then my office hours right after that, 2:15 to 3:15. And my office is also in the same building, so it's very handy. You can read all of this stuff. It's totally riveting information. I'm just going to hit a couple highlights. So, yes, coming to class is key, because the first couple of weeks I have to turn in participation verification for financial aid. So you need to come to class Tuesday and Thursday, really, of the first 2 weeks. That's what I would prefer. But of course, if you are dying, don't come. I don't want to get sick. I always say that. Because being a teacher, as you will soon find out, you get to be sick a lot at first. And so I have a pretty awesome immune system, but I still get sick at least once a semester. I seems like. Okay, you want to definitely log into our Blackboard as well as come to class, and then keep doing the coursework as it's assigned in the course calendar. You'll get participation points for coming to class, so it's important that you always make class. If you can't make class, you don't need to send me an email and explain why. I assume that you have a valid reason for missing class. You just don't get the points on that day. So no matter what the situation is, unless you're playing for CWI baseball and they have an away game. Oh wait, we have no sports team, so I guess that's out. Debate team, if you're on debate team and you miss class, that's okay, but otherwise anything else, no. And I'm not trying to be mean, I just really need you to be in class. So this class does not have enough on the Blackboard to justify rigor and meet the requirements of Carnegie credit. So that's why we have class time and you have to come. Alright, assignments are all submitted in Blackboard. I never collect anything in class. I do it all through Blackboard. So you want to make sure you do it on time so you don't miss a link, because once they're closed, they're gone. They're gone. Grading scale, pretty straightforward. I have a very small margin there for D. Do that on purpose. You should either get an A or stop coming. I'm just kidding. But I do actually, this was something I used to do in high school when I taught. Because when I first started at this school, standards were very low and students were perfectly happy to get a D. And so I just made it really hard for them to get a D. So they either had to work and, you know, get a decent grade, or they failed. I thought it was brilliant. But anyway, it worked well. I didn't give out Ds really, and people knew that, and they knew they had to come to class and do the work. Okay, 2 weeks is my rule on grade books, grades and grade books. So check your grade book once a week and make sure your grades are going in correctly. And if you see one that's incorrect, like I switched numbers around or I give you a 0 and you turn something in, let's deal with that within 2 weeks of you seeing that in your grade book. Okay, the textbook is 12th edition of Those Who Can Teach, which is getting to be a harder book to find because there's a newer version out, which I have not adopted on purpose. It's expensive and it's ridiculous. So, so I stayed with the 12th edition. If you can't find one, you should be able to find on Amazon. I think the bookstore's out, maybe out. I think I heard something like that on emails, like a student telling me that. I have also sent a Facebook post out to all my students on my Facebook page asking them if they have any versions to either loan or donate to the cause. So if I have any, I'll bring them to class on Tuesday and Thursday. So I have the first 3 chapters as PDFs in Blackboard. So I would recommend, especially since I see you already 2 days a week, if you haven't bought the book yet, just wait and see if I can get a loaner for you, because you very well could score a loaner. Okay. Contacting me, again, not hard because you see me twice a week. Course calendar is in Blackboard, and also I have a video where I review the course calendar. And attendance is important. Don't have to tell me when you're going to be absent. Oh, yes, always check your email account before you leave for campus. Hopefully you have a smartphone where you'll get your email automatically. If I have to cancel a class, I will generally make that decision. We have a 1 o'clock class. If I am feeling crappy at 9 o'clock, I'm probably going to cancel it. I try to know ahead of time classes I'm going to miss. And for example, I know I have to go to the State Department of Ed for some training, and I'm still getting those dates together. So I will have that on the course calendar, noted on the course calendar within the next week or so. Just because I'm away for training does not necessarily mean we're not going to hold class. A lot of times that is when I will have the intake advisors from BSU come and talk to you about how you apply to BSU and what that process looks like. Or I'll have the faculty from Lewis and Clark come and talk about their ed program. So I generally fill those classes and I don't cancel. Usually can fill them pretty easily. I also have some principals who would come and talk who I think would be really good. So we've got some options. Okay, it's probably only going to cancel if I get sick. And of course, electronic evals. In the semester, if 80% of the class completes the eval, everyone gets extra credit. I can't see who, and I can't see what you write. I just get a number that says like 10 out of 36 have completed the eval, course eval. And so as soon as that number hits the 80% mark, whatever it is for 36 or 32 or whatever our class is, then everybody gets extra credit. Okay, always only use your CWI email accounts. Everything else always ends up in my junk and I never see it, and it's not on purpose. I swear there is like a demon email vermin that moves anything that's not CWI into junk, and sometimes even CWI gets put into junk, which is really awesome. Okay, special notes. Well, these are kind of some general stuff. Email usually 24 hours, and even if I don't know an answer, I'll say, okay, I've got to look that up. I'm not going to be at my desk until 8 o'clock tonight. Sometimes that happens if I'm out in the field. But generally you should get something within 24 hours, and if you don't, send a second email. Just because your first one went in my junk file does not mean the second one will. And I will try to remember to check my junk from time to time, which that's kind of a funny sentence, but anyway. Okay. Assignments 1 week, that's always the goal. Projects 2 weeks, that's always, I really like to get everything in a week, within a week. So we'll see. Hopefully that will happen. Okay, everything else you can read, especially if you have insomnia. You should just print this out and put it next to your bed and you should be good. I think that's plenty. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in class.